Now, the global lumber industry is primarily driven by the increasing demand from the construction industry owing to its benefits such as superior stability, low carbon footprints, strength and durability. But prices for the wood have hit a record high after demand surged as home working as a result of the COVID-19 spurred a wave of renovation projects from fences to sheds at a time when inventories were running low. Well, joining me now to talk more about the lumbering industry is Nneka Okolo, a research analyst at the Financial Derivatives Company. Good afternoon, Nneka. Thanks for joining us on the program. Now, the price of lumber used in many industries, including manufacturing, furnishing, building and construction, spiked by 104% this year, hitting an all-time high of $828 rather per thousand board feet in August. But in view of the sharp contraction in GDP growth in the U.S., what do you think is responsible for the increase in demand and the price of lumber at this time?
Indeed, lumber prices have increased significantly, outshining safe haven assets like gold and silver, which have only increased by about 28.53% and 53.63% respectively this year. And this is despite immense concentration on both commodities. Also, the lumber price rally occurred despite record contraction in the U.S. economy by about 5% in the first quarter of this year, and at an analyzed rate of 32.9% in the second quarter. Now, so far, the major drivers of lumber demand are increased renovation activities by people working from home, and as well as increased housing demand as both individuals and investors take advantage of the near zero interest rates in the US. Now, this increase in demand coupled with low supply, partly due to reduced lumber production earlier during the early stages of the coronavirus, also contributed to increased lumber prices.
U.S. COVID-19 figures slowed in August, and so far the average new infections declined by 22% to about 49,688 individuals per day, coming from about 63,978 individuals per day in July. If this declining trend continues, how do you think it will impact the U.S. economy and indirectly lumbering and the price of lumber?
Indeed, the high coronavirus infection rate in the U.S., as well as previous resurgence of the virus, has always been an impediment to the reopening of the U.S. economy. Now, records have shown that the number of new coronavirus cases per day increased by about 30,000. It increased to about 30,000 new cases per day in June, after falling to about 20,000 in May. And now we see that the average number of coronavirus cases per day has again fallen by 22% so far in August as compared to its July figure. Now, if this declining trend continues to occur, we of course expect the U.S. economy to reopen cautiously. And what this would entail would be the resumption of both business and industrial activities, and possibly in the long term, revive demand for commodities in the country. Now, with regards to the impact of the reopening of the U.S. economy on lumber prices, well, we know that increased renovation activities and housing demand are the major drivers of lumber demand. Of course, with employees returning back to work, we'd expect there'll be a reduction in renovation activities. However, we still believe that housing demand will continue to support lumber demand and also lumber prices, even more so as the U.S. economy strengthens. Now, moving to the impact of the reopening of the U.S. economy on the Nigerian oil demand and the Nigerian economy as a whole. We know that the US is a major oil consumer, with its oil intake accounting for about 19% of global oil consumption in 2019. Also, Nigeria is among the top 10 major oil trading partners with the US. So a recovery in the US economy will of course spike an increase in Nigerian oil demand, and of course
All
this
right.
will bode well for the for the Nigerian economy.
All right. Neka Okolo, research analyst at the FDC. Thanks for your input on the program. And that's where we end today's show.